All right, Rabblecast listeners, this is Myke Quest here with a special guest today, Albert.
How you doing? Good to be here.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming on to the show and talking to us. This is pretty much a quick little interview of how you got started into the business, your way working into the WWE, and since your release going into Japan and everything. So it's just, where did you start wrestling at?
I started in Boston, Massachusetts. I was actually finished playing football and went and got a degree in education and teaching. So I started teaching, and one weekend, Killer Kowalski was putting on a wrestling show in the gymnasium, and I took a couple of the kids to the show, and I got to meet Killer. And I was always a huge wrestling fan. I never knew the correct avenues to get into it, how to start training. And he invited me to his school to start training, and I started going 3 days a week and plugging away, and got lucky. I was on a show that Sergeant Slaughter was on, and I guess he put a good word in for me. Then I got a chance to go to Titan Towers to do a trial match, and they sent me to Memphis, and then the ball just kept going.
Just kept on going and going. Killer Kowalski is a great school where a lot of people have developed their skills and everything. Was there anybody else in your class that also?
In Kowalski's?
Kowalski's, right?
Hunter just left. China was there. There were a few guys that, to this day, I thought were great workers. Just really never got that opportunity. But he produced a lot of quality wrestlers. Yeah.
So when you went to Titan Towers and you had your sit-down interview, your match, and everything, and they brought you the gimmick of Albert, like
Prince Albert, yeah.
Prince Albert being with draws with all the piercings and everything. Were you pierced already? Or?
Yeah, I was already pierced. I had a bunch of piercings. I started getting piercings actually in high school, and then when I went to college, my football coach, he was an old-fashioned blue-collar guy, and he made me take them all out. So once I went to Memphis, I started getting pierced up again, and was training down there, and went to, I think it was St. Louis, and they called me in and said that, because when they call you Prince Albert, they could have called me anything for that.
They could have called you anything at the time,
I was
whatever.
excited.
And then from Prince Albert, you pretty much went from to just Albert for doing the TNA gimmick with.
Prince Albert went to Albert, then
the TNA gimmick
TNA,
with Test, and then you did the X Factor thing, and then you got turned into the A Train.
A short stint with Scotty 2 Hardy as the
that's right.
Hero, which
I forgot
wasn't one of my prouder moments, but it sure was a lot of fun. Scotty and I are good friends. But we did that for a few weeks, and then A Train.
A Train, I thought the A Train was I have to say, the best gimmick that you had. I think in WWE.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I grew the most during that time. I had a lot of opportunities put forth, and it was a lot of fun.
Big man wrestling, I completely enjoy very much. Now the injury that you've gotten from Brock Lesnar that sidelined you.
Yeah, that was a pretty shitty experience. It was scary, I got up at the F5, and I don't know what happened, but next thing I know, I was pretty much landed on my back, and all that went through my mind was draws, and I couldn't move for a second. It was a scary experience, and I actually, when I was in the hospital, did a lot of time thinking, soul searching, if I still wanted to wrestle, because it can end like that. And seeing draws, made me realize that, and then when it happened to me, you got to be careful, but. I had to get back up on the horse, and when I came back, I had a match with Brock right when I came back, 2 weeks out, I think. And we went right back to it, F5, so.
That's good. Now, from your release to going to, was it All Japan or Big Japan?
I started with All Japan.
Started with All Japan.
Yeah.
And coming in, they had like the American type gimmick where it was like you with D'Lo and all that.
It was cool, yeah. I got released, and things were pretty stagnant for me at the time, and I really wasn't loving wrestling at the point. And then I had the opportunity to go to Japan, and I was real nervous, but I had D'Lo, Buchanan, Chuck Palumbo was there, Johnny Stromboli, Eki. So, I kind of fit right in, and wrestling really took off again for me.
Wrestling really took off for you, mostly in Japan. I'm a huge follower of Japan wrestling, and you completely exploded there. You were just like the big man mentality going, I guess, the strong style of wrestling.
Yeah, strong style. Yeah.
The strong style wrestling of Japanese wrestlers. You and Tonko winning the. I can't remember.
IWGP tag belts.
Yes, and you were what, the second Americans?
Second Americans, yeah.
Second Americans to win it? Yeah, I got talent stuff to fuck up, Eric.
There's belly laughing.
So, and then, Now, what's the difference between working in the American and working in Japanese?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. I mean, from outside the ring, the fan base is much different.
They're normally quiet.
They're very quiet. They're a lot respectful. I mean, you can get a guy into a submission hold. He gets to the ropes to break it, and they applaud.
Yeah.
And then they're quiet again. So it's different. You got to get used to that. Where in America they're just rowdy and ready to go, and they just want nonstop action. Russell in Japan, it's a stiffer style.
Yeah.
There's not as much mic work, not as much gimmicks. It's a strong style.
It's a strong style. I noticed that they really don't do anything mic-wise unless they have a big ceremony beforehand, and then you do backstage interviews after.
Backstage, yeah. At the end of our matches, we do a quick backstage.
Before, like I talked to your dad. He was telling me that you're going to Mexico now.
Yeah, I'm going to do 2 weeks in Mexico. They did through New Japan. They booked me into Mexico because one of their guys came to
Talent exchange.
Yeah, talent exchange. So I'm going to do a 2-week tour in Mexico, which I'm looking forward to.
All right.
Something different, change is good.
Very nice. Any promotions that you want to put out or anything?
No, just happy to be here today. Today was a success. I haven't done a signing since I got my well wishes from WWE. So it's good to see the fans do this again.
It was very good seeing you. Very nice meeting you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
All right.